the last several days. So, or the last few days. So thanks for going to our YouTube page and searching Out of Bounds Sports. You can see the studio, the setup, what we have on the set. And but you can watch the interviews. Mike Detillier, LSU insider. And Tom Luganville, national college football analyst with ESPN, and Steve Robertson, Hail State insider. All on our YouTube page. Search Out of Bounds Sports. This is 105.9 The Zone ESPN. Show is brought to you by Elijah Craig Bourbon. Elijah Craig Small Batch Bourbon, Toasted Barrel, 18-year Elijah Craig Bourbon. Also, the amazing steaks at Kessler Prime in the Renaissance. KesslerPrime.com to make a reservation to enjoy a ribeye New York strip or filet with a side of crawfish and bacon wrapped shrimp and some Elijah Craig Bourbon. Good morning. Welcome in. You can hit us up on the Golden Moon Casino text line.
You gonna show me the money.
Text line 601-885-3776. Twitter X at Bo Bounds. Twitter X at Bo Bounds. Brought to you by Fowler GMC and your next GMC Sierra truck or GMC Yukon at Fowler GMC, Pearl Brandon. Visit their website right now, fowlergmc.com. Fowler is Fowler, but I think you know that. Fowler, Fowler GMC for your next GMC Sierra truck or GMC Yukon. And then the Key City, Mississippi Queen, caller line is 601-707-3750. 601-707-3750. Nick is on the Golden Moon Casino text line, and he said that when he got his vasectomy, he took a Valium, and that his wife said he was talking to the plant in the room. Well, it happens.
Yeah, I mean, what did the plant say?
He said, I took so much Valium, my wife said I was talking to a plant in the waiting room. Well, so I didn't take anything, and I just went by myself, and I got my vasectomy, and I drove home. But I did everything they told me to do. So it really wasn't anything to it. And I never hurt or anything, so it was all good.
Mow a yard, so.
What now?
I said you also didn't mow a yard.
I didn't mow a yard. I didn't move anything. I didn't lift anything heavy. They tell you all this, don't lift a cooler. Actually, they say don't lift your kids, because you usually get a vasectomy when you have small kids. Right. And at that time I had small kids, and so I didn't lift them for a couple of days either. Not that they were like super heavy at that point, but
right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, not heavy, not that they weighed a lot at that time. But it is World Vasectomy Day, and if you have a funny story about a vasectomy, we would love to hear it. We're trying to find kind of something that we can do on a Friday, as Snip Snip Friday, because you want to do it on a Friday going into a sports weekend.
Oh yeah.
So that you got something to do when you're laying around. You don't want to mow the yard on a riding lawnmower though.
Oh,
like Mark did.
Bless that guy.
The halftime snip or the surgical timeout. Okay. Who are we going to?
Real C.
Okay. Real C is on the Key City Beer caller line. What's up, Real C?
What's up, Bo?
Hey, man.
Got a quick clip and snip story for you.
Okay.
Back when the firstborn, my little girl, was teeny tiny, and she played coach pitch softball, which of course I coached. And when I set this deal up, I had to pick a buddy that could pitch to him, because I couldn't pitch to him. I mean, I'd look like freaking Nolan Ryan throwing a no-hitter out there to those little girls. So I get a buddy of mine. That's his sole responsibility, right? Well, this was back far enough to where, it wasn't a participation trophy deal. It was just a league, but we were in contention to win this thing, and we were towards the very tail end of the season. So every little game was kind of crucial for us, because that was a goal we had set. And well, he goes and gets a vasectomy, and he calls me. It's like we got a game on Thursday. He calls me on Wednesday. He said, "Dude, I'm not going to be able to pitch tomorrow night." And I was like, like the heck you aren't, buddy. You got to we got to win this game. He said, "Do we got any other dads that can do it?" And I was like, "Man, there ain't a tard on that team that can sit there and groove that ball in there to those little girls like you can." He says, well, let me think about it, and I'll let you know. Well, he shows up Thursday night, 100% reluctant and second-guessing his thoughts and decisions and what he's decided to do. Well, he waddles out there, kind of looks like he'd been riding a horse all day. He gets out there. My daughter, of all people, first batter he faces, he piped her one, and she absolutely blew the junk out of his drawers.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Yes, sir. Dude folded like a dirty bed sheet. He just flopped down on the ground. It looked like he'd thrown a fish up on the bank or something like that. He's flopping around.
My
and his wife's over there screaming and hollering.
So the softball drills him in the package, and he had just had a vasectomy.
Oh.
Straight up right in the junk.
Oh,
I'm talking about
no!
And she hit it well. It was a shot. It wasn't like a little dribbler and took a couple hops and jumped up in him. I'm talking about it was bang bang, and he folded up. I thought he's dead.
Yeah,
He ended up having to go back and get some rework done. But that's my clip.
Oh my God, that's fantastic! Thank you for the call. I think Real C just won something.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So we'll have to put together a fun out of bounds swag bag with some of the great stuff that we have
Sounds
between
like it was his fault.
Elijah Craig and Volteo Tequila and Tito's, among other things. Yeah,
it's on him.
I cannot believe that. Well, so he decides to take one for the team,
Right.
But then he took one in the package,
Right.
where he had just had the vasectomy.
Laid it all on the line, man.
I cannot imagine the pain. If she hit a rocket right at his bells. Because that's going to hurt even if you haven't had a vasectomy. But now that you've had a vasectomy, you're on. That's like 10x, I don't know, 20, 50, 100x pain?
Easily.
Maybe more?
No, I'm folding. I'm folding fast.
Okay.
Yeah, he wins. That's that's his fault. He convinced him to pitch.
I want to ask our audience. This is our poll question for the day. And Jackson, I'd like for you to throw this up somewhere on Twitter X or something at Bo Bounds. What's scarier? A vasectomy, playing at LSU in Death Valley at night, your wife saying, we need to talk, your boss inviting you to a 4 p.m. Friday meeting. What's scarier? We'll put that on Twitter X. All right. Twitter X at Bo Bounds. It'll be there sooner than later. Twitter X at Bo Bounds, brought to you by Superior Foundation. Call Todd Sandridge today and his team. Trey Pace, Todd Sandridge. Foundation repairs, French drains, driveways. Superior Foundation. And their website is superior.ms. Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Brought to you by the Mississippi State University College of Business and Dean Scott Graw. Ranked number one, best online MBA program by Best Value Schools. Ranked number one, best online MBA program by Best Value Schools. The Out of Bounds Show is powered by Mississippi State University and their College of Business, the oldest College of Business in the state of Mississippi, too. And Dean Scott Graw spent well over 10 years in the private sector in the supply chain industry, and he has taken that to another level among other majors in the College of Business. If you want to be a part, be a supporter, donor, get in touch with Dean Scott Graw today, business.msstate.edu, 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 or go ahead and schedule a private tour on the campus of Mississippi State, and you can see the College of Business in McCool Hall. Bo Bounds, Jackson Meadows with you on the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. I can't believe one of these. I got to be careful on this. Let me think this one through. Sharing that story. Just, I think I can frame it up a little bit different way. Okay. And how about this? All right. Bo, unnamed texter. All right, here we go. This is incredible. And this guy's texted us before, so this is a legit listener.
Show me the money!
And in fact, he was the last time he texted us. It was when we were asking about best muffalettas. We were talking about muffalettas, and older brother Bistro in Starkville has an unbelievable muffaletta. So if you're up there next week, we'll have to see what Barton's doing for Thanksgiving. I ordered Thanksgiving lunch or dinner, whatever you want to call it, from him one year at Two Brothers. It was insane how good it was. But they own Two Brothers Bar and Grill, which is one of the best dive bars in the SEC. And then older brother Bistro's right across the walkway. And it's kind of a higher end, deal. And where they're doing Reubens and muffalettas, but at night he's doing fillets and redfish and things like that. All right, so here we go. Jackson, I think you're going to be blown away here. On the Golden Moon Casino text line, it's World Vasectomy Day, so we're incorporating this, and then we're going to have Steve Palazzolo on the NFL at 8:30. I am receiving your text on Mississippi State basketball. Not quite ready to get there yet, but I may at 9 a.m. because we got to do 24 minutes on the NFL and college football with Steve Palazzolo coming up, all right? But real quick, unnamed texter on the Golden Moon Casino text line. Bo, I got a vasectomy 5 years ago. They gave me a little baby Valium. We were in the waiting room, and my wife whispers in my ear, "Do you want to fool around in the bathroom?" I guess we were both afraid that things wouldn't work out afterwards. So, yes, we did. I went into that operation room wide awake. Awful decision. That is incredible. So, at the medical office, y'all hooked up. We just talked about people at Martin's downtown. Martin's in Livingston's a little too new. Not that no one's hooked up in the restaurant, but we talked about, people were talking about McBee's and having kids in the stalls. Not like procreating, okay? And then, Martin's down. Just, people. I thought this happened. So here's my theory on that. I think for decades that happened frequently, but with phones, you got to be so much more careful. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody, because you got that blank that wants to video two people. I mean, just let them hook up and go about your business. But this is incredible that you and your wife went and hooked up in the bathroom, in the waiting room, or at the medical office before you got a vasectomy. That is phenomenal. I think that's great. And I got a lot of respect for that. I really do. Do you, Jackson? All right, go ahead. We all like to make good investments. One of the best investments I made 11 years ago was calling Mississippi Urology Clinic and scheduling a vasectomy. Love my kids, but 2 was plenty and they're expensive. The procedure lasted about 15 minutes and was painless. Nothing to it. To schedule a vasectomy today, call Mississippi Urology Clinic, 601-353-9900. 601-353-9900. Oh my gosh, you pulled it up. I have not heard that spot in a long time. That is so good. Good job. Kudos to you.
Well, let me give credit where credit's due.
Christiana's awesome.
She hooked it up.
You know what? She's so good to us.
I knew she could do it for me.
Yeah, she's awesome.
You want to take a whack at when we recorded that?
All right. So 11 years after Wilkes. Wilkes was born 2005. And so I'm thinking that I cut that in 2015.
16. Okay. I mean, dang. That's pretty good.
2016.
Yeah, whoever produced that spot's pretty good. Oh.
That was you, I guess.
Yeah, it was, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I love my kids, but 2's enough and they're expensive or something like that.
Yeah.
That was the line. If you knew how many times I heard that line out when Wendy and I were like going to dinner or something, our kids were still in school. So we were doing more stuff at MRA, things like that. We're not in that world anymore. So we're actually at the house more. But you're moving around more when your kids are younger. And people love that line in the, which an ad agency would have probably billed about $20,000 to $25,000 for that spot. I wrote it in about a minute.
Yeah.
So I didn't bill Mississippi Urology near enough, and they made a fortune on that.
No doubt.
On that commercial.
The ROI on that ad was pretty high.
Oh my God! It looks like we may have a urology group that's a couple hours away that wants to jump on the show. We are the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Of course, we stream all over the state. We do big numbers, Pine Belt, Mississippi Gulf Coast, Golden Triangle, DeSoto County. We would love for you to stream the show on the Out of Bounds radio app or thezone1059.com. Look, we want you to listen to the flamethrower if you're within the signal of 105.9 The Zone, ESPN, 50,000-watt monster. But if you're not, we would love for you to stream the show on the Out of Bounds radio app. And that's all you got to type in your little app store, Out of Bounds radio app, or on the website, thezone1059.com. Now, it's National Stuffing Day, but we're going to call it dressing.
Yeah.
It's like when people say, I'm going to barbecue. I'm like, no, you're going to grill. You're grilling out. Stop it. Stop saying
Who
I'm going
says that?
People in Ohio,
Yeah, I was about to say,
in
where's that
Michigan,
line at?
in Maryland.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know where the line is. It's somewhere around Kentucky.
Yeah.
Even though Kentucky people are really nice and most of them act like people in Mississippi.
Yeah.
They're really hospitable and good people.
Yeah.
But it's somewhere around that Kentucky line. And then on the East Coast, I'm going to guess the North Carolina line,
right.
North or south.
That's solid. How far west we go? Texas.
See, Texas is kind of weird.
They barbecue.
Because they'll say barbecue,
Yeah.
but a lot of them will say, I'm grilling.
Right. Oh, that's a barbecue place.
But to me, you're grilling out.
Yeah.
Now people have smokers.
Right.
But that kind of encompasses everything.
Yes.
Okay, whether you have a Traeger or like me, and you're just cooking on a $99 Weber.
Right.
Which I think is awesome, too. Oh, I was going to ask you, do you like dressing?
Well, yeah, I do. I used to hate it, but when my taste buds evolved, they decided to like it.
Straight out of Clinton.
That's it.
That's your theme song. Straight out of Clinton. Speaking of, Richardson's Barber and Salon on Clinton Parkway. Absolutely beautiful new barber and salon shop. Richardson's Barber and Salon. It's a husband-wife team. They're super, super fun and cool, and they're so cute. And they've got a great business. Okay? We want you to call them today and go ahead and schedule. Make them your next stylist, and they can do anything like that high-end stuff that women want to do, all the way down to just a regular cut. Richardson's Barber and Salon in Clinton. Steve Palazzolo next. Guys, the good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Thanks for making us your sports and entertainment show of choice in this wonderful, wonderful state that's kind of the, epicenter for college football right now with Lane Train. He wants to take the LSU or Florida job, but his team's in the college football playoffs, so there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on. We'll see if he stays in Oxford at Ole Miss because of the timing of the college football playoff and them not playing till December 19th or 20th. They're in the running for a home game. Then the next game will be at a neutral site, as y'all know. They're not going to get one of the 4 byes, but this has dominated our show and really national talk around the country. Also, the vasectomy stories are incredible on the Golden Moon Casino text line. It's World Vasectomy Day. I got a vasectomy, 20 years ago, and it was the best money that I ever spent. It's one of the most, if not the most popular commercial that we've ever played. Do you still have it, Jackson? I want to play it for our next guest who has 4 kids under 10, Steve Palazzolo, NFL insider, joining us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. This is the commercial that I cut 10 years ago. We all like to make good investments. One of the best investments I made 11 years ago was calling Mississippi Urology Clinic and scheduling a vasectomy. Love my kids, but 2 was plenty and they're expensive. The procedure lasted about 15 minutes and was painless. Nothing to it. To schedule a vasectomy today, call Mississippi Urology Clinic, 601-35. All right, so that was the spot, and if you knew how many people referenced that commercial in the Jackson metro area for years, I could take my family to Disney World. So we welcome in Steve Palazzolo, NFL Podcast of the Year. Check the mic. He joins us on 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. Steve P., what'd you think about that commercial, bud?
I didn't realize you were such an influencer. Before that term was really catching hold, you were a legitimate influencer in the area, huh? That was impressive.
Thank you. So you have 4 kids under 10. Have you gotten a vasectomy?
I have not.
You play with fire, brother.
So here we are.
Yeah. See, you could do
4 little guys. Yeah.
Cincinnati. You could do a deal, and they'll comp it, and then you talk about them, right? And because you're a great, you're kind of a great billboard for having 4 kids under 10, 4 boys under 10.
I will look into it. Yeah, I'll see if I can get my own influencer deal. I got the local pizza guy who watches my show last night, so that was good. So we started with maybe I'll get some free pizza, maybe the vasectomy's next.
Did y'all get free pizza?
Not this time around. I paid for it in full, but he at least recognized me. I said, "Hey, I'm going to talk about your pizza on our live show tonight," and so I think there's a future there.
Okay. All right. Good. What kind of pizza was it?
Just a simple pepperoni, but there's not a lot of great pizza places over here in Cincinnati, so we found one. You kind of like New York, Boston style that I like, so it can be our go-to.
Oh, that's right. You're from the New England area.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pizza's not great in Cincinnati.
Are you, what is your chowder of, is it clam chowder? What's your,
yeah.
Okay. Clam chowder. Okay. Yeah.
Clam chowder is wonderful.
Is it really?
Wonderful. Yeah. I make sure I get someone every time I go back, make sure when I'm in the Boston area, make sure I get chowder. And, you can't go wrong. There's a lot of good places up there.
Like, do you have a place, like, what is one of your favorite places to get clam chowder in Boston?
So the place I like to get fried clams and chowder is a place called the Clam Box in Ipswich, Massachusetts. It's up on the water, and about a 40-minute drive from my house. It was like we make a little event of it to go get fried clams and chowder on like a Saturday night. So that's my spot.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Clam Box.
Steve Palazzolo, culinary insider, NFL insider, joining us on influencer on the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Okay, let's move to football. Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. The Raiders may not be good, but every win is precious in the NFL. How did Dak Prescott play against the Las Vegas Raiders? Steve P.
I thought he I thought he looked great. I mean, he had a fumble early on, and after that, really settled down. Raiders not good, as we know. I'm intrigued by Dallas though, because all season I keep saying I don't think the defense can be that bad. Right? They're in a historic level defensively. Now the Bengals have overtaken them at their historic level of awful defensively. But I thought Dallas, even before trading for Quinnen Williams, had a chance to at least get back toward middle of the pack as a defense going forward. And I think Quinnen Williams adds a little bit of juice on the defensive line, of course, and then some of the other guys coming back from injuries, Marvin Overshone and Malik Hooker. So I think there's some life there on that side of the ball. And now I'm intrigued by that when I think it's going to be a really good game against Philly. They get the Chiefs on Thanksgiving, and then the Lions. It's the season here. It's the stretch. I saw your friends on the Shouty Show saying this is legacy defining for Dak these next 3 weeks here.
Eagles, Lions, Chiefs, or Eagles, Chiefs, Lions?
Eagles this week, then the Chiefs on Thanksgiving, and then the Lions the following Thursday. So they do a Thursday night game for the two Turkey Day teams, Dallas and Detroit, the following Thursday.
Okay, so they play Sunday at 3:25 our time, and then they turn around, and that's a physical game against Philly, especially line of scrimmage, O-line, D-line, and then they turn around and play the Chiefs on Thursday. Holy smokes. And then the Lions have been a really, really physical team and franchise since Dan Campbell took over. This defense doesn't have a prayer to hold up against that run, Steve P. What do you think?
I think that they have a chance though now with Quinnen Williams in there. They've got him, Osa Odighizuwa. I think they Kenny Clark. I think they can play a more physical brand of football than they've been able to before. Maybe Overshone and some of his speed. I'm intrigued. I don't think we learned a lot about the Dallas defense against the Raiders, but they have these pieces to play much better on that side of the ball. Maybe that helps Deron Bland a little bit. I think they've got some guys that can rush the passer. Donovan Azaraku, the second-round edge rusher, I think is playing really well over these last few weeks for them. So I think they could put it together. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy stretch or anything. I just think they could compete on the defensive side of the ball much better than they did earlier in the year. So I think it's going to be a fun stretch, I think, for Dallas. And then, Dak in that offense does look really good. George Pickens looked outstanding. I mean, he did. Looked like a real, right, like a number one type of wide receiver. He only showed little flashes of that with the Steelers, but he looks outstanding. And I think they can compete with anybody if they've got him and CeeDee Lamb out there.
Well, the reason why he only showed flashes is because they didn't have a QB like Dak that could get him the ball.
That's it.
I'm being serious.
True. I mean, they didn't use him great either. It's like George Pickens was so good on the outside on contested catches. That's just how they seem to get him the ball. And now you see, he can run routes. He can win at the intermediate, that 10 to 19-yard level. He can win after the catch. So I think Dallas is also tapping into that skill set a little bit better too.
Yeah, no, he's a hell of a player. You're right. He's fun to watch. I mean, when he gets, this, Steve P., when he gets going, and gets like 3 or 4 catches within a quarter or something, I mean, he's a ton of fun to watch.
Oh, yeah. And there's definitely something to that and the rhythm that he's able to build. And like I said, you saw elements of it in Pittsburgh, and I think Dallas is really unlocking everything George Pickens can do.
Hey, did you see where Brian Schottenheimer sat CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens because they broke curfew? But CeeDee made sure to let everybody know that he wasn't throwing up, later that evening or something.
There were rumors that he was out till 7 a.m. or something like that. Yeah. I was telling on our show, I told a story. We played, one of the independent teams I played for played in Atlantic City, and we had an 11 a.m. game. So you have these morning games, for kids and like the businessman special, and one of our shortstop was out till 8 a.m. and just went straight to the field and hit 2 doubles and a bomb. It was like, wow, this dude, unbelievable.
Wow.
Great day in Atlantic City for him.
That's like Pete Young. He played baseball at Mississippi State. Unbelievable player. And Pete could smash some beers and go 3 for 4 at third base in an SEC game. And then Ron Polk would bring him in to close the game out in the 8th and 9th inning. I mean, dude was just fearless and ferocious.
Some guys just have it. They know how to play through anything. So.
And look, you played AAA baseball for the San Francisco Giants. You've heard some of the stories. Back in the 70s, that was just another day that ended in Y, Steve P., right?
Yeah, a lot of A lot of drinking, a lot of drugs, a lot of greenies on the field.
I mean,
that's how they got over it.
Right.
You get some speed on the field, and it offsets a lot of what you did the day before.
Sure. Speed on the field. That's how they reference you, Jackson Meadows, right? Speed on the field. He played 8-man football in high school, and he's 6'4", and he played against a bunch of guys that were 5'7". So he dominated. How many touchdowns did you score your senior year in high school in 8-man football?
Yeah, I mean, probably about 20-something. Had to eclipse 20. And
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I mean, essentially. If you hit I played, quarterback, wide receiver, safety, and linebackers. I mean, if you hit a bootleg as a quarterback, you're scoring.
Right.
You score.
Was it two-hand touch or tackle?
Oh, we tackling. We're knocking heads out there.
Okay. I wasn't sure. So you played quarterback, wide receiver, and running back, and you scored from all three positions.
Oh, I scored from all of them. Yeah, defensive touchdowns, special team touchdowns, you name it.
And you had to what? Kick?
Yeah, and I kicked.
Was it field goals and punting, or both?
Both, extra points, you name it. They never kicked extra points until I got there, and then we nailed them.
Nice.
Like the original Travis Hunter here.
Essentially, paved the way for him.
That's right. The
combination.
Right.
Travis Hunter and Derrick Henry, I would say.
Yeah, I didn't realize you were the original Travis Hunter.
Well, I didn't have height like Steve's got. If I had that, man, I'd be in the league.
Yeah, for our listeners, Steve Palazzolo 6'10", our guest.
I can't believe that.
Jackson 6'4", and Palazzolo again played AAA baseball for the San Francisco Giants. All right, he joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Who's the team to watch in the NFL? Is it the Rams, the Patriots, someone else? Talk to me.
Oh man, it's so wide open right now because all the best teams have generally been tied to the elite quarterbacks, and you've got issues now with Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. They're all either struggling or, in the Ravens' case, started really slow and trying to get back to it. And I think the Patriots do look really good. They haven't really been tested a ton, but they've answered the call when they've had to play good teams. The Bucs, the Bills. They still have a couple more of those games against the Ravens and Bills down the stretch, but everything else looks pretty easy for New England. And then, I'm watching the game like last night, the way the Texans play defense, the way the Broncos play defense, and they played each other a couple weeks ago, and it looked just like that, just so difficult to even complete a pass, get a first down. And I do wonder if this is one of those years where these defensive-centric teams, Seattle Seahawks, Broncos, Texans, if this is the type of year where if they just get competent quarterback play, if they could go on a run while Kansas City and Buffalo and some of the supposed to be elite teams, feel a little bit weaker, and then so we'll see what happens after Thanksgiving. Some teams can go on a run, Kansas City could rattle off 6 straight and, this could all be moot and they're back again. But I think the AFC could be wide open. And then the NFC, I still love what the Eagles are capable of doing. If they could be more consistent, still wouldn't sleep on the Lions despite a couple of their slip-ups. And then the Seahawks and Rams could be right there at the ends too after the way they played each other last week. So I love it right now. It feels really wide open in the NFL heading into Thanksgiving.
Who do you like better, the Rams or the Eagles?
Still probably the Eagles because of the history. I'm not loving the way the offense is coming together, though. And even when they were at their best, the offense didn't have these kinds of lulls where there's almost nothing thrown to the middle of the field, and they can't really run it this year. And there's only, they have explosive plays 1 every 4 weeks. So that's the only part I don't like. I think the Rams are pretty well-rounded. I love the way Stafford is playing and the way the defense can create pressure up front, and then the 1-2 punch of Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. So I think the Rams are right there, but I'll give the Eagles the slight edge right now at the moment, given some of their history.
He had the NFL Podcast of the Year. He's Steve Palazzolo, influencer and also NFL insider. He joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. I want to hit on that for a second. You mentioned the Eagles not throwing it to the middle of the field. I can't remember if it was you that said it a couple weeks ago on the show, or maybe someone else. But what is that? People are talking about how Jalen Hurts can't throw it with success in the middle of the field. Do you agree with that? And if so, what does that mean as far as his game and for the Eagles going forward?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a can't as much as he doesn't. It's just not his game as much as anything. Like Joe Burrow doesn't. Joe Burrow plays from the shotgun all the time, and people complain up here, like, oh, you should be under center more so you can run better and run more play action. And it's like, it's not that Joe Burrow can't play under center. He's just more comfortable from the shotgun. I think you have that with Jalen Hurts, where he's more comfortable playing like a one-on-one on the outside, let me get the ball outside the numbers to my receivers type of game. And what happens, he's had a different, I saw the graphic the other day. I didn't realize how crazy it was. It's like 9 different coordinators in 9 years for Jalen Hurts going back to college, between Alabama, Oklahoma, pretty much every year with the Eagles. His offensive coordinator either got promoted somewhere else or he got fired, like in 2023 when they really struggled down the stretch. But across multiple coordinators, when the Jalen Hurts led offense struggles, it feels like he gets back there, it's kind of lethargic, and he's just waiting for this long developing route, like, hey, AJ Brown, go win one-on-one, or hey, Devontae Smith, go win one-on-one on the outside, and I'll try to get you the ball outside the numbers. That's what it feels like. It just feels like there's no creativity to the offense outside of the run game. But from a pass game perspective, there's no creativity. There's no seam route. There's no middle of the field.
They've got pieces. Their tight end's fantastic. AJ Brown is. Do you still have him top 5 in the league, Steve P?
Yeah, I mean, he may have lost half a step so far this year, but something's off there. But yeah,
and Devontae,
type of guy that could take over. Yeah.
Okay.
They've got 2 top 15 receivers, I'd say, with Devontae there.
Damn. So what does that mean? I mean, tell me why. So basically, this is just about all Saquon driven, and then because Jalen is so good with his legs when plays break down?
I mean, a little bit. Hurts doesn't play. He just doesn't. Like, there's just not a well-rounded pass game with him. So you don't get this, like a good pass game, you get this combination of quick game and then play action at the intermediate level and then throwing the ball down the field. Like, Hurts is not throwing that 10 to 19 yard range this year. There's a lot of just quick game or just down the field. And some like low, like what he threw to AJ Brown on 4th down against the Packers on Monday night. It's just this low percentage, fade on 4th and 6. And so that's what I'm seeing from Hurts. And for some reason, when Hurts offenses get into a funk, no matter who the play caller is, could be Kellen Moore, could be Kevin Patullo right now, could be Shane Steichen that he's had through the years. When they get into a funk, that's what it feels like. Like Jalen Hurts not working parts of the field, only throwing the ball outside the numbers at low percentage type of passes. And then the run game is usually pretty good because he could keep it, and you've got the tush-push stuff and short yardage and what have you. But there's something missing with the pass game, and it seems consistent to Jalen Hurts more than his play caller. So that's what I'm keeping an eye on. How can there's not enough just schemed up open plays. When you're watching the game, you're like, hey, how did Kyle Shanahan do it again? How did George Kittle get wide open? How did this guy get wide open? You just don't have that as much from the Eagles, and it's just been consistent across multiple coordinators with Jalen Hurts.
Okay, but yet Howie Roseman and their personnel are so damn good.
Yeah, it's outstanding, and their defense is incredible. Like they held Goff to 2 of his last 18 passing because every pass is contested. So yeah, it's such a good roster right now.
2 of his last 18 in the NFL against Goff, who may not be elite, but he's good. He's definitely a B-level quarterback and been playing for a long time and played in big games and won big. Wow. Okay. Steve Palazzolo, his show's Check the Mic, YouTube, Spotify, and so on. He joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. The show is brought to you by Stella Artois and Wings at Martin's in Livingston. That's a winning combo. Okay. Lane Kiffin. I know you're heavy NFL, but you do cover a lot of college and you do great on the draft and so on. What do you make of this Kiffin story and whether or not he may leave to LSU or Florida, Steve P., or stay?
I mean, there's so much about college football and the college football calendar that I detest. And I love college football overall. And I also hate that we spend so much time, or media spend so much time thinking about what the committee thinks. It's just, think about that for a minute. You don't even talk about football. You only talk about what the committee might be thinking about the football. That's what the media has to talk about. And now we're in the middle of a playoff run, and we have to talk about where Lane is going to go. And it's just not good for the sport because Ole Miss can make a little playoff run here. He could easily go back and say, look what I've built. He's done a great job with the resources given there, and a great job in this new era of how to attack the transfer portal, how to develop a team. He's awesome from a play caller perspective. So if he went back to Ole Miss, I wouldn't hate it, for him. I think that might not be an awful move. I think Florida has been trying to put a full court press on, and LSU is going to do the same thing, and he probably sees all the dysfunction at LSU. And I don't know how it shakes. I don't know if anybody actually knows how it shakes out. A lot of people think they know. I don't know how it shakes out. And I don't know if the NFL has been calling a little bit. Heard those rumors that the Titans may have been intrigued. I think he could do it at the NFL level too. I don't know if the NFL is ready to bring a whole bunch of college coaches in. It's like a hit or miss type of history there.
Mm-hmm.
But between one of those three, I mean, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he just stayed at Ole Miss. But this is perhaps, strike while the iron's hot type of opportunity with desperate Florida, desperate LSU, and he's just going to have to take one of those deals.
Okay, yeah, especially with the schedule flipping next year, because they've had a beautiful schedule this year and last. Titans may be kicking the tires. Wonder if the Giants would with the Jackson Dart tie, but the Titans thing is interesting too. All right, Steve P. I guess the game of the week is Buccaneers Rams, or do you have another one that jumps out at you?
Eagles Cowboys, I think, is intriguing if the Cowboys defense is better, and then Colts Chiefs as well. This is the highest leverage potential playoff game in the Mahomes era. In other words, if they win, they're about 70% chance to make the playoffs. If they lose, they're about 30% chance to make the playoffs. In the Mahomes era, that's never happened. So Colts Chiefs, I'll be watching that Sunday at 1 pretty closely.
All right, I like it. Clam Chowder influencer Steve Palazzolo, his show Check the Mic. He had the NFL podcast of the year. Steve P., thank you, my man. We appreciate it.
All right, yep, thank you.
All right.
Show me the money!
So Colts at Chiefs. He's got 3 games this week. Colts at Chiefs. That's a noon kick, so you have to be ready right after church. Eagles at Cowboys. That's 3:25. Brutal, because Eagles are one of the most physical teams in the league. Cowboys on defense are not. And then they turn right around and play the Chiefs on Thursday. And then another game this week, Sunday Night Football. Buccaneers at the Rams. The Rams are 8-2. Wilkes was not happy that the Bucs lost to the Bills, but I was like, buddy, after they lost to the Dolphins, they were going to bounce back at home. I mean, the Bucs have had a good run, but they've been winning games by 1, 2, 3 points, and that eventually plays out. But they're still in a good spot in the NFC South. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN.
shake hands. What time is it?
It's 9 a.m. and this ain't no K show. It's the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds.
All aboard!
As Mississippi's #1 morning show rolls on the Zone 105.9 and online at thezone1059.com.
We all like to make good investments. One of the best investments I made 11 years ago was calling Mississippi Urology Clinic and scheduling a vasectomy. Love my kids, but 2 was plenty and they're expensive. The procedure lasted about 15 minutes and was painless. Nothing to it. To schedule a vasectomy. Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 1059 The Zone. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. Straight funk with me.
We ain't going nowhere.
That's what Ole Miss fans want to hear.
We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere.
All right. That's what they want to hear when it comes to Lane Kiffin and his crew.
We ain't going nowhere.
They want an answer. I don't know if they'll get one today or tomorrow or Sunday. He will not be forced to give an answer today or tomorrow or Sunday. And so that's kind of where you are. Is he holding you hostage to a certain extent? Yes.
Just trying to find some recruits.
But, he's the most successful coach in the history of your athletic program.
Yeah, do something about it.
So,
don't do it anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. This doesn't surprise me. It's that double-edged sword with Lane. And he has been just wildly more successful than anybody could have ever imagined.
Right.
With his history. And
it's a double-edged
boy,
sword.
when he turned the corner,
Yeah.
After, the Raiders deal didn't work, but that was dumb on them to hire him. He didn't hire himself. Then he goes to Tennessee. They had an average year at best. He walked into Southern Cal. It's easy to beat up on Lane on that, but they were hammered with probation.
Right.
He wasn't, maybe you could say he wasn't good. He wasn't bad by any stretch. And he won 10 games one year. They just weren't eligible for the Pac-12 championship game at that time. He went 10-2 one year. Yeah. And then it was either the next or the next where a few games into the season, coming back from an away game, as y'all know, they landed at whatever airport in Los Angeles, and on the tarmac, he was fired. So by Pat Hayden, who was a terrible athletic director. And they've gone through some bad ADs out at Southern Cal. Yeah. I guess Garrett was okay. He did hire Carroll. So, he did give you Pete. And that about 6-year run of Pete Carroll was unbelievable. And again, the Pac, whatever it was back then, it was so bad, but he took advantage of it. Oregon was coming and good, and Cal Berkeley, believe it or not, was the second or third best team in the league. They went through Jeff Tedford, who's a hell of a coach, and of course they had Aaron Rodgers and Marshawn Lynch and several guys that went through their program. But anyway, Lane got fired and got embarrassed, and he talks about how that's one of the toughest times of his life and his dream job, and he had been there under Carroll, and he knew what a monster it was, and so on. And boom, goes to Alabama. Really, really, really got to see what it takes to run a program under Saban.
Yeah.
The accountability and discipline in hiring. Goes to Florida Atlantic, wins enough, about to take the Arkansas job. Keith Carter swoops in. The rest is history. Ole Miss has been on a hell of a ride for years now.
So what are you saying, that Keith Carter may have to swoop back in and grab Dabo whenever
There you go.
Is that what's going to happen?
Now, the Dan Wolken article on Yahoo that I referenced earlier, Jackson, and for our listeners, I read a paragraph from it. I'll read another one that jumped out at me. He's talking about he's given Lane a pretty hard time, and there's a lot of Ole Miss fans. I mean, people who love him who are frustrated right? Because they love him on game. I mean, he's winning and winning and winning, but he hasn't committed to stay at Ole Miss, even for another year. No. Of course, LSU and Florida are not going to open every year. So here's another paragraph that jumped out at me. And I quote, "Do you want the focus to be on the team and these being the good old days, Lane? Then announce you're staying and get on with it. Or rip the Band-Aid off and leave. But the longer this goes, the more obvious it seems that he is dealing with dual desires to coach Ole Miss in the college football playoff and to have a second chance at a blue blood job after his long ago flame out at Southern Cal." I will tell you this, I do know this, I've mentioned this several times on the show over the years. It drives him crazy that Kirby Smart and Sarkisian are at Georgia and Texas. Right. And please understand, even though he's friends with Sark, he deep down, he believes Sark is underachieving.
Oh, yeah.
And Lane wants to win a national title or more than one. And he has developed and become good enough, look at what he's done at Ole Miss, to be a national championship coach. No doubt. He's that good at managing, coaching, and hiring, and even evaluating. I mean, either Lane. I think Lane does have an eye. We've talked about how good Mullen was, and he didn't have this backing, and it was a different era. But Lane has the ability to evaluate. Plus, Lane does a good job at hiring people, and either they already know how, or he explains to them what he wants and how he looks at it. And I think he gets that eye from his NFL dad and all the NFL people that he knows since he was a kid. Because Monty Kiffin was in the NFL forever, and Lane coaches like the NFL and so on. And I'll give you something even small that you can tell, even though some of the Blue Bloods don't do this, but you can be watching games. Do you notice in high school and college how kids want to go sideline to sideline running the football? Do you notice how Lane's guys run the football? Same way the NFL. North, cut, go. Look at the way Jerrion Ely played under Lane in year one. And you could keep Snoop Connor. Obviously, he made Judkins better. Right. If you look at the way Dart and Corral run the football, and now Lacey. So, it is taught. Stop, wiggling, shaking and baking and faking and running sideline to sideline and go horizontal. Go up the field. And that sounds the 90-something% of high schools and college. You got kids, just beelining it to the sideline. Sometimes, if you're the best player on the field, it works. If you're not, it doesn't. But you can tell he teaches from Carroll, his dad, Saban, other people that he knows in the NFL. And I think Lane loves the NFL because he grew up on the NFL. Right. He grew up on Monty Kiffin in the NFL. But that's how he coaches and teaches. And I do believe there's a difference in going and getting another yard, another 3 yards, another 4 yards, another 6 yards, and it compounds. Whether it's Lacey or Judkins or Snoop or Ely or Corral or Dart. And also their wide receivers. I believe that they are coached at a higher level and different. Catch the ball and get upfield. Stop juking and this and that. Majority of the time it doesn't work unless, you're A.J. Brown in high school. Right. Or Cam Akers. Or, some guys like that. It doesn't matter what they do. They can run around all night. And people are not going to be able to tackle them. The Golden Moon Casino text line, 601-885-3776. Lunch today is brought to you by Burgers Blues Barbecue, Dogwood Flowwood. Blue plates and smash burgers, wraps, fresh smoked meats. Their ribs are amazing. Pork nachos, Burgers Blues Barbecue, Dogwood Flowwood, B3 Dogwood Flowwood. Grab lunch there today.
you gonna show me the money.
Hey, we are the Out of Bounds Show. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. Fat Jack Ross coming up at 9:30. Handicapper to the stars, fatjacksports.com. Fat Jack Ross, handicapper to the gods, coming up on 105.9 The Zone, ESPN at 9:30 today. 9:30 today. Somebody asked about Taste Italian Kitchen on the text line. So when you get there, first of all, the bar and the bar area is beautiful. It's gorgeous. I mean, the decor and the feel and the vibe is amazing. It Taste Italian Kitchen in the Renaissance. They're open for lunch and dinner. If you haven't been, you're going to need to go to tasteitaliankitchen.com to get a reservation, unless you get in there in that 1:30 to 5 range, which is still a great time to go. But peak lunch and dinner is going to be a struggle if you don't have a reservation. Now, I've been able to get a bar seat. Okay. But that's not, I've also walked in there where it's packed, and I'm glad. I want them to be packed. But you asked about kind of Taste Italian Kitchen. It started in Starkville. It's a beautiful restaurant up there. They do very, very well. It's it's one of the best bars in the state up there too. Okay. It's really good Italian food. They mix in some American fare, if you will. The selection of spirits is amazing. The one in the Renaissance was taken down to the studs and renovated. It's beautiful. I mean, their wine room's amazing. As far as, so little cocktails, little vino, whatever you want to do, Dr. Pepper, coffee, whatever. But to start off, I mean, you can't go wrong with the calamari. They have a world famous meatball, which is an appetizer. It's absolutely amazing. Crab cakes, the list goes on and on. They got wood-fired pizzas, which are delicious. And then, of course, they've got all kinds of entrees, right? From lasagna to bolognese to vodka rigatoni to sausage rigatoni and so on. Shrimp scampi, you name it. It's all fantastic. My go-to in Starkville when I'm coming into town, if I'm not going out to meet friends or a client or whatever, is just to drop by and grab lasagna and a Caesar salad to go, because it's easy and I know it's going to be good. And Ella Hall and I can split it. When I go there, it just depends. I mean, look, they did a tomahawk ribeye that we got before the text. Was it the Tito's guys with us, or the Bocock Brothers Cigars, the dudes from Houston, Texas? Craig and them did a tomahawk ribeye that we got for the table, and they sliced it up. I think that's what it's fabulous. And then we got into all sorts of other things. So, yeah, lunch or dinner, Taste Italian Kitchen in the Renaissance. But you're going to need a reservation majority of the time. And now that we're getting into the holidays, you probably want it, if you got people coming in town, 6-8 top, whatever it is, they've got a couple of private dining rooms. You're going to need to make sure that you've got if you've got friends and family coming in town, now's the time to make a reservation, or you're not going to be able to get in. I can't imagine what their week looks like next week. And then Craig's keeping the Starkville Taste open next week because there's going to be so many people in town. We're going up, Thursday, literally right after lunch, but there will be so many people in town. They're going to be rolling. And then 1 week from today, you get Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin at Mississippi State against Jeff Levy at 11 a.m. So 1 week and less than 2 hours. Battle for the Golden Egg, 11 a.m. in Starkville, Davis Wade Stadium, and it is going to be cold. There's no rain in the forecast, but it's an early game. The high that day is 49, which means it will not be 49 at 9 and 10 a.m. So if you're going to get out to the junction and have some hot coffee and so on, you're going to need to be bundled up. But no rain is still great because you can put on a jacket, your pullover from the Rogue Men's store. You can put on a jacket, maybe even a beanie, and you can go. 11 a.m. ESPN. Rebs versus Dogs. Lane Kiffin will be on the sideline. Or if I had to bet.
Yeah, right.
If I had to bet $5,000. But Ole Miss is a heavy favorite. They should be. Not only are they better talent-wise, the coaching staff is so much better, yet Levy and the Dogs have a chance. I mean, I'd give it about a 30% chance. Some of you may think I'm crazy on that. That's fine. Some of you may think that they have. Oh, it's ABC. My bad.
Yeah.
11 a.m. ABC game. Ole Miss at Mississippi State. Davis Wade Stadium, Friday, 11 a.m. ABC. That is definitely the Tito's Vodka Bloody Mary with crispy bacon game, because that's just what it is. Golden Moon Casino text line is 601-885-3776. Speaking of fun, Spring Street Cigars, their cigar bar and lounge is now open in Jackson. It's in the building where the Rogue Men's Store has been for 40-plus years. It's a beautiful, iconic building. Right, you can see it from I-55, Frontage Road in Jackson, just south of Highland Village. So the Rogue Men's Store, which Luke and them just got all these super cool hoodies and vests and jackets. But in the back, the Rogue Men's Store moved to the front, and they totally renovated. It's beautiful, open lighting, walls are white. It looks really good. The jackets and the pants and the pullovers and all that, Peter Millar, and it really pops in the new look of the Rogue Men's Store in the front of the iconic Rogue building. In the back left, Spring Street Cigars took all 3 floors. You walk in, full bar. Second floor, smoking lounge, walk-in humidor that is absolutely beautiful. From Davidoff Cigars to the Mississippi State and Ole Miss cigars, from Bocock Brothers to Liga Privadas to Fuentes and more. Okay, third floor, another lounge for anybody. Then they got the private lounge for members only. And then outside on the I-55 side, they have a rooftop lounge where, when it's pretty, like it has been, you can smoke a cigar outside with a friend or a client. That's Spring Street Cigars in Jackson. So it's a fun place to get and then they let you order food if you want to. Dang. So if you want to order, like Bravo's right there, you want to order a pizza, you can order one. Takes, seconds. Our friend La Presa.
Yeah.
Alex,
right
open
there.
high-end Tex-Mex right there. You can order some enchiladas or quesadillas.
Heater tacos, I think.
Yeah, I've had the pork belly and the tuna. Tuck Tuck Boom. I mean, so you got plenty of options right around there. But Spring Street Cigars is now open in the Rogue Men's Store, and it's really nice. You've been there.
Yeah, it's dope. I like it.
It's one of the prettiest cigar bars and lounges in the country. The humidor is gorgeous. It's walk-in, and they'll walk you through what you want.
Yeah.
For those of you, maybe a beginner or whatever. And you don't have to. I mean, I've met people that don't smoke cigars that just go there and hang out.
Right.
So it's a fun spot. The Rogue Men's Store has Wolf and Shepherd shoes, which you saw the Houston Texans wearing them last night. Wolf and Shepherd shoes, dress them up, dress them down, like everything today. They got the Martin Dingman shoes, which are the hottest shoes in the country. They're the styles and cool. They're super, super cool. They got the Brax pants, Jack Victor. Beautiful looking coach. And he's got Peter Millar for days. The Rogue Men's Store in Jackson, in the iconic Rogue building, where Spring Street Cigars is too. Fat Jack Ross next.
When the lights are about to be turned off, you know what you need. Because you gotta somehow make that paper, right?
Right. Show me the money!
You come to the right place for that. Because it's time for Bo Bounds to...
Show me the money!
To show you the...
You gonna show me the money. Show me the money!
Brought to you by Fat Jack Ross and FatJackSports.com. This is the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 1059 The Zone. The show is brought to you by award-winning Elijah Craig Bourbon. Elijah Craig Small Batch, which is fabulous. Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel, which is amazing. And Elijah Craig 18-year. You can find it at Briarwood Wine and Spirits, among many, many wine and spirit stores and shops around the country. Lincoln Road in Hattiesburg, unbelievable. And, of course, so many of our partners around the state, restaurants and bars and casinos and resorts and so on. Elijah Craig, award-winning bourbon. We welcome in Fat Jack Ross to the show. Fat Jack, how are you, buddy?
Doing great, actually. We had another winner. I actually swept the board last night. It was actually a great night. I will tell you, last weekend we had two winners in basketball. I had Texas Tech over the total. Had another, what did we have over the total? We had Texas Tech over the total. We had Utah over the total. Both of them went over easily. And then we had the under in the Monday Night Football game, which looked over the entire game with the kickoff return for a touchdown, and then the pick six that was out. And they ended up getting a call back, but ended up staying under. And so 2-0 this week in football. And that was needed, I guess, because last weekend, I'll tell you something, Bo, that no handicapper ever says. You won't hear it on this station or otherwise. But last week, after another 4-2 Saturday, all these games are posted. Everybody gets the same plays. They're posted and documented. 4-2 Saturday. We 0-4 on Sunday. And so I could say, well, in November, on Sundays, we're 8-4 because the two previous Sundays we had gone 4-0 and 4-0. Or the guys that signed up just last Sunday, they went 0-4 and think that I'm throwing darts. And so it speaks to getting all the plays long term. Every once in a while, you're going to have a bad day. The difference is with me, not only am I not full of you-know-what, everybody gets the same plays, they're posted, they're documented. When I have a bad day, I typically turn around and win on Monday, win on Thursday, which is exactly what happened again this last week. So excited about this weekend. It's only $99 through Monday for football. I run that about once a month, and it's been very successful. So excited about this week's games, as I know SEC fans are needing something to get fired up about because this is that kind of pseudo bye week where a lot of these teams play some inferior opponents.
Yeah, it's not a great lineup for the SEC, but I do want to hit one game and maybe Southern Cal at Oregon, but we can go to the NFL. I'm fine with that. FatJackSports.com, and Fat Jack Ross joins us on ESPN 1059 The Zone. All right, 11 a.m. ABC our time. Missouri at Oklahoma, Fat Jack. Oklahoma's laying 6.5, and the total is 42.5.
Yeah, so the numbers come down on both. OU was almost a double-digit favorite, 8.5, 9 at least in a lot of spots. And the Sharps immediately bet Missouri back. Now you're getting some later money coming in, and it looks like the quarterback might play. They may not be going with the freshman with Missouri. I'm not sure how much that matters. This is a Missouri team that offensively is not dynamic, but defensively is very good. And so Oklahoma will allow you to play close. For sure. And I don't think that Brent Venables is going to open up the offense even at home. So unless there's a bunch of turnovers, I expect a low-scoring game. That number, as you mentioned, is coming down 44.5, now down to 42.5. OU's an auto bet on the under until further notice. I've said that a couple of times. They're 9-2 to the under their last 11 games. And the only ones that have gone over have been with scoop and score. Tennessee comes to mind. Scoop and scores, randomness in the turnover department that have generated at least 10 points or more. This last week, they had the pick six. They had other things that went well in the turnover category and still stayed under the total. So under, even at 42.5, even though some of the value's gone, is the best play in the game. Missouri plus the points, absolutely. I think OU, if they generate points off turnovers, they'll blow Missouri out, probably at home for sure. But if they don't, this will be a close-scoring, low-scoring game that the back door will always be open with Mizzou. And I think all of the pressure obviously is on the Sooners after that huge win, that recency bias that we always look at this time of year also leads toward Missouri because OU looks so good creating turnovers, which they haven't done most of the year. I expect that to kind of regress back to the middle, and Missouri plus the points is the best side.
Fat Jack Ross, fatjacksports.com on the Out of Bounds show. I want to hit, I don't know if there's anything here for you, but Kentucky at Vandy. Vandy's still 8-2, okay? And they've had a hell of a year for them. And even though Mark Stoops doesn't believe in scoring points, they've won a couple of games against crappy teams with interim coaches, I guess. It's Vandy minus, mine right here is Vandy minus 8.5, Fat Jack, and the total's 54.5. You intrigued at all with this game?
Yeah, I'll be a little quicker with it because I'm really not. I think that Vandy's the right side. I mean, I'm not because Kentucky is one of those teams that will ugly it up. We talk about this a lot with them. Stoops will figure out a way to keep it close, have a chance at the end. I'm in my 50s now. I'm trying not to earn stuff in the fourth quarter. If I can get a blowout, which there's other blowouts here. I mean, there's other blowouts on the board. I'd rather lean toward them. I think Miami or Florida, they roll this week. I think South Florida rolls this week. Those are easier spots than trying to figure out if Kentucky's going to backdoor Vandy. That's right on the number. And by the way, Vegas is very good with the number with Vandy overall. They were right on it with Texas. They've been right on it a couple times where even when they've been blown out or in the lead, you've had to earn it late. So I'll steer clear of that one. The USC Oregon, the other one, I think the back door's open with USC a little bit because their defense is better, because Oregon hasn't played anybody. The best defense that Oregon has played the entire year, this number one passing offense that Oregon has, the best defense they played all year is Rutgers, and then Indiana that beat them. I mean, this is not a team that's been battle-tested, especially in the secondary. Rutgers is, I want to say, 26th in total defense. That's the best defense they played. So I think we're going to find out what Oregon is, and USC is better than that Lincoln Riley, we don't play any defense perception that's out there nationally. So a little bit of some value with USC.
All right, I'm going to tell you a curveball. What the hell? And
I'm ready.
Okay. Because I don't know what the schedule. We're off next Thursday and Friday, and you have shows lined up all week. So we've got the rivalry game a week from today here in the state of Mississippi. Ole Miss at Mississippi State. Now, Ole Miss is better talent and good Lord coaching staff. I think, Jackson, you told me maybe the early line was minus 10.5. I'm not going to hold that to you, Fat Jack. But this is a rivalry game with all the stuff going on with Lane, and it may not matter. Again, Ole Miss is better talent-wise and coaching-wise. This game's in Starkville. Mississippi State just gave up 5,000 yards to Ahmad Hardy and made him look like Derrick Henry in a one-dimensional Missouri team. Do you have anything for me on the rivalry game a week from today, Ole Miss at Mississippi State, Fat Jack?
Yeah, Ole Miss is like a fat kid that gets a bunny for Christmas and pulls its ears off. I mean, I think Chris Farley did a skit on that one time, but it's just like they've got everything going, yet we're going to peacock around and ego it up. And I blame the athletic director, honestly. I mean, what about these kids that are playing for possibly a national championship? I mean, coaches and players leave in college football. I don't know that they're going to change that up right now at Ole Miss. I do think Ole Miss is better, as you said. When it's snapped, it doesn't matter. So Lane Kiffin's not going to play one down. And I do think that it's a valuable thing, and it's a distraction heading into the game. But once the game kicks off, talent normally wins. It almost always wins in the NFL. And even in college, most of the time, especially when you have these type of athletes that are superior to the other team, they get it done. The rivalry part of it would worry me as much as anything. So it will not be one of my favorite games. And if it is, it'll be right before when everything settles, all the dust settles, and then
Gotcha.
I'll figure out something the day before because there are too many variables leading up to that game.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Any other, before we go to the NFL real quick, anything else you want to, I mean, you mentioned you like Miami and South Florida. FatJackSports.com, $99 through Sunday night. Is that right, Fat Jack?
No, you get Monday night with that.
Okay, got it.
We've lost twice on Monday night all year. This has been a great year. It really has. A great value. I've had a lot of guys take advantage of this $99 deal, and they have stuck on for the entire year because they see the consistent winning plays. They like it that you get the plays emailed, and after the games are over, by gosh, they're listed under the results tab. There's no BS. I've been doing this 30 years. You won't hear anybody say this guy deceives you. If I have a losing day, they'll say this guy stinks because you have one losing day. It's what have you done for me lately? But you'll never hear him say he's deceiving me because I tell the truth, lots of profit, and yeah, you get through Monday night for $99. All
right,
and a big Sunday weekend.
Let's go Sunday. What do you and your team like on Sunday?
So let's start with the game that I think everybody is most interested in, and that's Indianapolis and Kansas City, because that's the one you're like, okay, what's going on with this line? What are the Chiefs? I mean, we're going to have to deal with them in the playoffs again, or is this the end? Are we done with them? Since 1990, Bo, there have been 14 teams that are 5-5 or worse and have been favored over a team that's won 80% of their games this late in the year. So week 11 or later, in 35 years, we have 14 spots just like this. Team that's 500, favored over a team that's won 80% of their games. The 500 team, the Chiefs in this case, 14-0 straight up, 12-0-2 against the spread. And that's week 11 or later. Sometimes Vegas tells you what is probably going to happen, and that's what's going on here, Bo. Unless the Chiefs turn it over a bunch or Mahomes goes out, Indianapolis is going to have to fade 35 years of really consistent history. This late in the year, we know exactly what teams are. We have one team that shouldn't be favored over another one. I like Kansas City in that one. Also like the under in that one. They're going to have to get more into playoff mode, not take as many chances. That's a lower scoring game. Indianapolis, absolutely. And also you've got their quarterback with a little bit of a hand issue. So I think under the total in that one as well. The other kind of spots that I would not be betting on under any circumstance, I'd stay away from New Orleans favored against anybody. They're favored against Kirk Cousins in Atlanta. If you bet on that one, you got to watch it. That's the worst afternoon in the world for me. And so I'm not doing that. And then you got Cleveland. They're an underdog with Shadir Sanders to Las Vegas. I'd rather watch an 80-year-old dry heaving the nude than I'd rather watch either one of those guys. Turn on Murder, She Wrote or something. Those are horrible games. Let's steer clear of those. There's some value. New England hasn't played anybody all year. Their 11 games are against the 10 worst teams in the league. I think winter's coming to New England. All 11 games against and their schedule doesn't get a ton tougher, but there's some value playing against them. They're going to get blown out in the playoffs most likely. People are like, oh my God. The same people that think I'm crazy about that are the same ones when I said that Green Bay was not going to win the Super Bowl after they traded for Dallas's pass rusher. They look at me like I was crazy too. I'm not looking so crazy now. Green Bay's average at best. So but I think that you play against New England. The other team that I think's a fraud, there's a couple actually, but the Bears are absolutely a fraud. The teams that they have beaten are 19-50-1 straight up. They've beaten a bunch of bottom dwellers, and this has been a Bears team also that has been those one-score games that last year they were losing all of them. They're winning all the one-score games, and they're plus 16 in the turnover margin. They beat Dallas. They beat Las Vegas. They beat Washington with the backup quarterback. They beat New Orleans, Cincinnati, the Giants. I mean, this is not a good team, and the Giants without Scadaboo. So this is not a team that we know is as good as their record. This time of year, find those teams that are somewhat of a fraud. I'm looking at Denver also. Same situation. Denver has beat Cincinnati. Kansas City is their best win. They're 500. If Kansas City goes out and gets blown out by Indy this week, Denver has wins against Cincinnati, Vegas, the Texans, Jets, the Giants, Tennessee, and now Kansas City. That is not a winning group that you're going to be able to hang your hat on. There's better spots. That's why Philadelphia moved up to a co-favorite to win the Super Bowl. That's why the Rams are now looked at as a favorite. That's because their schedule has been more indicative of that. So just a few ideas.
I love this. Find the Fraud, brought to you by Fat Jack Ross, FatJackSports.com. Only $99 all the way through Monday Night Football this weekend. So it's time to party. We've got so much football left to be played, college football and NFL. Of course, they're doing NBA, college hoops, and everything else. FatJackSports.com. Was there one more thing do you think the Cowboys get beat pretty handily this weekend by the Eagles at home?
Not only don't think they do, Vegas doesn't think they do. Why is that number so short, Bo? It's 3.5. That's really, really short when Philly just moved to first or second choice to win the Super Bowl. And also, you know who else doesn't? John Murray doesn't. I talked to John Murray, who runs the Westgate Superbook in Las Vegas, and all the lines, they're basically saying, here's how they approach these games. They feel like Dallas has better than a 50-50 chance of covering, but they're going to be Cowboy fans on Sunday. A ton of money will come in on Philly. All the general public will bet Philly. They'll win about half of these spots. We talk about trap games. They never will use those terms. They laugh when you say that. But that's what this is. It's a game where it looks too good to be true with Philadelphia. They're not going to win all the time, but 50% of the time, Dallas is going to find a way to cover and or win. And by the way, people, how quickly we forget. They could have won opening weekend with all their team in disarray when they went up there to Philadelphia, when they were rolling out their banner. They were within a touchdown late in that game and then threw an interception or a turnover late in that game. This is a divisional game. It's at home. The Vegas likes Dallas in this spot. I'll follow them to the window.
All right, cool. $99 through Monday night. FatJackSports.com. Go ahead.
Sound like we're guessing, Bo? We're not guessing. I mean, we're 2-0 in basketball yesterday. We had 2 easy winners. They're posted under the results tab. Yeah, it's $99. Take a chance this week if you've never signed up. Put your ego aside. It's not the gambling that your wife, your girlfriend, and your sister hate, Bo. It's the losing. They don't care about the gambling at all. They hate the losing. If you're not, my wife doesn't gamble on anything, and she doesn't give a crap because her lifestyle is wonderful because I win betting on sports. If you want to change the view of the people at your Thanksgiving dinner, don't stop gambling, stop losing. They're going to like it a whole lot more when Christmas gifts get a little bit better. FatJackSports.com, I can help you start with that.
Have a great weekend, my man. We'll talk soon.
Take care, bud.
All right, Fat Jack Ross on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Oh, man, the Bears. So the Bears have played teams combined record 19-50-1.
That's incredible.
Good Lord. I like that. Find the Fraud. Brought to you by Fat Jack Sports and the Golden Moon Casino Vegas style sportsbook. That place was packed yesterday, by the way. Now, granted, we took up some of it doing a commercial shoot, but there were so many people in and out of there, and they had the, it's a bar and full bar and grill in there. And so they were pumping out wings and quesadillas and burgers in the Vegas style sports book inside the Golden Moon. We had a good time in there yesterday. We eventually moved over to Mom and M's for lunch, and that was great too. Steve Azar felt like we needed the wings for an appetizer. I hadn't had the wings in a minute at Mom and M's inside the Golden Moon. It's just right across the casino floor from the sports book. So, in the middle's the center bar. You got all the slots and table games. But if you're in the sports book, Mom and M's is right across the casino floor. So that was fun. And that was a good hit by Fat Jack Ross. Yeah. That was good. It was good. Everything's documented. I'm looking at it right now. And so he's not, no.
He's there.
Right.
Legit. And I like what he does. He posts it right when the game starts.
Right.
No editing. No changing the
boom.
Yeah, boom.
All right. There was something else that I wanted. Oh, Spring Street Cigars. You'll want to check that out. We're lucky to have the things that are happening in the Jackson Metro. One of the new things is Spring Street Cigars. It's a bar and lounge. It's inside the building of the Rogue Men's Store. Full bar, first floor. Second floor, lounge area, plus a walk-in humidor that is beautiful. Third floor, another lounge area for anybody to go to. A private members area club, which is great. I love it. And then outside, they have a rooftop lounge overlooking Highland Village and I-55. It's really, really cool. So if you want and you don't have to smoke cigars to go, but if you want a cool experience, Spring Street Cigars in Jackson, in the building where the Rogue Men's Store has been for over 45 or 50 years. All right, cool. Do you have any idea what you're going to do this weekend?
No. Nah.
I mean, you hadn't even planned.
Nah, I ain't got none of that. Plan for what?
Like 5 o'clock this afternoon, you walk in, you and Mackenzie are talking.
Yeah.
All right. How's it go?
What do you want to do?
Okay.
Just what do you want to do tonight?
So it could be go somewhere or take out.
Yep.
Because you don't cook.
No.
I think you should.
Sure.
But you're against it for some reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tied up.
You do live in Little Eastover or Leftover, so you're around a bunch of amazing restaurants.
Yeah, it's
in Jackson.
It does spoil me.
I mean, Highland Village is
popping.
Is loaded with good
Hard.
spots. Okay. Spring Street Cigars.
It's right there.
Is right there. Okay. All right, cool. All right. But no plans this weekend.
No, I actually may go to Spring Street. I had some buddies. I remember I got a couple of those Ole Miss cigars and whatnot.
Yeah.
I gave a couple of my buddies that go to Spring Street or whatnot, so they want me to come up there with them.
Okay. Thank you for saying that. Bocock Brothers. Okay. BocockBros.com online. But they have rolled out Mississippi State cigars, Ole Miss cigars, LSU cigars, Florida, Missouri, A&M, so on. All right, Bocock Brothers, they're great. Great for Christmas gifts, client gifts, all that. And Spring Street, all the Spring Streets have some, they don't have Missouri or A&M, right?
Who would
They've
want
got
that?
right.
Yeah.
But they got Mississippi State and Ole Miss, and then some of them have LSU.
Nice.
In fact, the one Spring Street Cigars in Jackson has LSU cigars because some of the families tied in to LSU. Now, if you want to order a box online and you're listening right now, like you're in Atlanta or you're in New Orleans or Memphis, DeSoto County, wherever, you can go to BocockBros.com, promo code BOUNDS10. Promo code BOUNDS10 to get a box of Ole Miss cigars. They got the powder blue bands, okay, with the Ole Miss football helmet. Mississippi State's got the M over S, which is cool, baseball, but they've also got the limited edition Dak Prescott cigars, which is the interlocking MSU logo as the band on the cigars and the interlocking MSU logo on the box with it signed by Dak Prescott. So BocockBros.com, BocockBros.com, promo code BOUNCE10, or just stop right into Spring Street with a buddy. Both of you, maybe you're a State fan, he's an Ole Miss fan. You grab whatever sticks you want, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different lounge areas in Spring Street in Jackson. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 different areas. Not even counting the private area.
Right.
To smoke cigars. So it's nice, it's upscale, it's relaxing, and it's fun. And the camaraderie and everything is what it's all about. And then Luke at the Rogue Men's Store, they've got Peter Millar and just all kinds of good looking stuff. Wolf and Shepherd shoes and so on. All right, hit our local places. Burgers, Blues, Barbecue, Dogwood, Flowwood. That's one of Jackson's favorite places. They've got smash burgers. Their ribs are great. Pulled pork, blue plates. Burgers, Blues, Barbecue, B3 in Dogwood, Flowwood. Order takeout. And the restaurant's really pretty. Stephen and them did a great job building it out. They got a full bar. But anyway, hey, have a good weekend. We'll see what Lane Train does. Where will we be Monday at 7 a.m.? Enjoy the weekend. Have some good food. Be careful. See ya.